up, High and Logical? Gabe here again. I got a pretty good topic for you guys. It's been a pretty serious matter on me. The topic of video games being linked to violence and aggression, I think, is a very careless assumption. I mean, I could understand it to the point to where some games maybe, but I feel it's the same way that. Okay, that's not the same way. Never mind. But I feel it's just all linked on the person. If you're an aggressive person and aggressive games kind of bring out the aggression in you, like when you rage quit. I mean, I understand. I've rage quit plenty of times on that, but no way in heck have I ever wanted to go shoot someone just because of losing a game. Um, and that's a very broad assumption just to kind of link video games, and I'm talking countless amounts of genres, to violence. Like, I've been playing Mario since I was like 8 or 9, and I'm pretty sure that me smashing Goombas and grabbing coins is not going to make me want to hurt someone. And it's even the same way where I've played GTA at a young age. I've played all these violent games at a young age, and there's no way has it affected me. No way. Plenty of my friends have played with me throughout our years, and no one, and I mean no one in our school has been trying to do any violence act. Like I said, like, it is a very broad assumption, and the entire concept of violence in games, like, it brings serious depth to a game to have violence. Resident Evil, it wouldn't be anything without the horror and violence. Call of Duty wouldn't be anything of just being able to shoot like rubber pellets and marshmallows at your teammates. Like violence brings serious depth to certain games, and even when it comes to violence being based on the story in the game, like, oh, he killed my father, I gotta go kill him. Like, there would be no way in heck would he just be like, all right, he killed him, I can't do it, I forgive him. Like, what kind of game is that? And to specific games like Fortnite, yeah, there's violence in there, and especially with kids play how much kids play it nowadays. It's like they probably shouldn't be playing violent games like that, but there is no like serious aggression to it. I mean, kids will die and they'll just be fine with it, but some kids do rage out, and I understand that, but there's no serious depth to Fortnite unless you're talking about skins and emotes. And when I'm talking about violence depth, I'm talking about like Mortal Kombat mechanics, combo attacks, and God of War and specific adventure games, like even Zelda. Like, there's been violence in Zelda for years and years and years, and I feel like that. And if there was no violence, it wouldn't bring any depth to games. Like, it's even the same thing for when I chop off a monster's head in God of War. It's like I feel like it wouldn't be as fun if I just like give him a good swing to the gut and he's dead. Like, what kind of, like, that doesn't really give me pleasure in paying $60 for a game that won't show me specific mechanics that they can do. And I just feel like taking away the violence aspect of it would not make people want to play video games anymore. Like, they've even wanted to put specific taxes on violent video games just so people won't be aggressive. Like, how stupid is that? You want to pay $80 to $100 just for a violent games compared to a $60 to $40 games that aren't violent? That's straight robbery. That is straight robbery. That's just a way to make money off of it, just so you think that people won't be violent. And I feel like people would uprise for that. I mean, couldn't say that I'd be like a rioter for trying to get my game rights back, but I mean, I'd be seriously upset if I legitimately had to pay $100 for these games that bring violence. And it kind of makes me scared for specific games that I see that are coming out in the future, that it's like, well, if this keeps building up, what's going to happen? Are they going to take all these games away? Are they going to shut down all these companies and make millions and millions of people lose their jobs just because they think that violence is the cause for video games? And that's going to make people not want to, obviously, like I said, people will lose their jobs because people won't be buying the PlayStation, the Xbox, the PCs, like, just because that they have given this aspect. And that's a pretty ballsy move, a really ballsy move, and I just think that that's a way to ruin people's lives and just make people even hate being in this country even more. Like, taking away our rights even for something as simple as video games is dumb. Like, I couldn't tell you, but it's like if all of a sudden it became a thing to where we had to get rid of all of our stuff because it's linked to violence and stuff like that, and now I can't play them anymore because I don't have them. Like, all these video games and consoles that I've spent money over the years is like, that's pretty heartfelt for me. It's like you're really throwing away an entire part of my childhood. Like, yeah, some people were going outside, but you can't tell me that some people still don't, like, people who don't play a lot of video games still haven't played them. And even when it comes to Mario, Zelda, and all those simple games, it's like you you still played a game. You know, you still played something that's violent, yet you still have no way in your cause of action to want to go cause violence. I saw something before I started this video about this kid saying how he was going to shoot up a school in a game chat. And on Xbox, I think, or PlayStation. Regardless, that is careless. And that is very careless for something to say in society like this, to where even me, I would report that. Not just because that I'm a dick or a douche, just because he was just kidding, but that's a very serious matter in our society, is all these shootings and stuff like that over the past 3 to 4 years. And so that's why it's like going at any notion of this is not a good idea. But even poking at the aspect of violence in games is also not a good idea, because it takes away depth. I would not enjoy any of my games anymore if it was just simplicity. That's not fun. I like to see different mechanics. I like to see all that too. But I mean, if you guys do somehow come across like links to video games and violence, please send them in the comment section below. I'm all open to see possible links. But me personally, I don't see any links to violence in games. I don't. We have been growing up on a culture with violent games, violent movies, and violent freaking TV shows like Family Guy, and South Park. Okay, South Park like is his own little genre of fucked up, and that's where, to the point, it's like we have grown up on all these things that I have said, and yet we can't take anything seriously anymore. They all poke at the aspects of stuff like this, but at the same time, they usually always give a somewhat heartfelt moment at the end of these things, just to kind of make it okay. Like, in violence in video games, like I said, for like, oh, he killed my dad, well, for him to actually go out on a heroic journey to avenge himself, to feel good about himself, like, that's just the heroic aspect. That's not saying that he's aggressive, and there's points to where that people even build in movies and games, they move past of like where violence makes them better, and they just know that the only way to succeed is to make this end in violence. And that may seem like a weird aspect to other people, but to me it's not. I grew up on countless games and movies and TV shows that have all been built around that, and I in no way do I think that's wrong at all. Please let me know if you guys find anything. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I feel like this is a very important topic that should be shared, that should be like spread to everyone, to know who play video games, who don't play video games, that video games are okay. I see no bad harm in them. For people, like, for scientific reasons, yes, they might be bad, but it could just be because some people play freaking video games for 13 hours straight and have no break. But that's just me, not you. But I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will have a new video that's kind of like a fun little thing to go along with this. So please stay tuned for more. I will see you guys soon.